One of the biggest all-time questions in philosophy is this: do we have destiny or is there free will? And this is a puzzle that we've been thinking about for thousands and thousands of years. And there is an answer to that question, and in this lecture I hope to present that answer to you. Hi there, my name is Toby and this is Body Efficiency Training. On this channel I talk about the body dynamics, how the body works and how it is connected to Chi, the life force energy. And these two things are very closely connected. We need to learn how to use the body to access the Chi. And these lectures are about understanding the Chi. We also need to have a certain amount of understanding about Chi. What is it and how does it work? So this is lecture number 7, and this lecture is all about destiny, time and free will. Now if you look at my previous lectures, I've said this over and over. I've said that there is no such thing as the past and the future. We've only got the present moment. So the present moment is the only reality. The past is in the dream, it's imagination, it's memory, and the future is the same thing. The future is fantasy. You're thinking about it, you're dreaming about it, but it's not real, it hasn't happened yet. The only thing that is happening is the present moment. Nothing else is happening. So you can't go into the future and you can't go into the past. And you can't really predict the future, and nor can you really say what happened in the past. It's a tricky thing. Now you can get pretty close. You can make some approximations. You can guess the future quite well. And you can look back into the past quite well, but you can never know it fully and exactly. And I've got to explain this to you right now, why this is so. And when you understand this, you'll see why the ultimate answer to the question is there destiny or free will? Well, the answer is there is free will. There is no destiny. But there is a destiny, and we'll come to that later. But the ultimate answer is free will. And it's because creation is spontaneous. The universe is continually being created. And if you look at my previous lectures, you'll see all about that. But the Chi, the Aether, the Spirit, the Infinite is always creating. And it's creating from nowhere, instantaneously. It's a surprise. We don't know what is going to be creating. We don't know what is coming. It's a surprise by definition. Creation is spontaneous. And it can happen. Again, remember, the creation of this physical universe happens according to the mathematics of the golden ratio. So we know it has to happen in a certain way that allows us to predict something, because it has to happen in a particular way. So mathematics, if we understand the mathematics, we already understand how things have to come into creation. So that allows us to predict a little bit. We know if we want to grow a seed in the ground, we know we have to plant it in the ground, we have to water it, and it has to go through a process of growth. We know that. So we can predict this. We can say, well, if I plant that seed and I do X, Y, Z, I know it will grow. But you never really know if that one seed will make it or how that one seed is going to turn out. That you can't know, because it's always different. It's always spontaneous. You see, creation, the universe follows a pattern, but that pattern is ever changing. So ultimately we can say there is a sort of destiny, but really it is pure free will, purely spontaneous. And so that's why you cannot know the future and you cannot truly know the past. Now let's have a look at the mathematics of the golden ratio once more in relation to time. Now, I explained this I think in a second lecture, but when you grow a flower, so you have a petal that grows, and the flower needs to grow, and the petals repeat round and round and round like this. And the mathematics of the golden ratio, and in this case it's an angle, it's the golden angle, but it's the same principle. The mathematics of the golden angle, the golden ratio, is such that it allows these petals to keep duplicating, keep on growing more and more and more. But when they're going round, and they're going round in the gaps, they're always going to a different place each time, you see. So the petal is repeating, it's going at the same angle, So we know that, oh, well, the petal is going round. We're going to get a next one about here. But it's always going into the gap where there has not been one before. So the petal is always going to somewhere new. It's going to somewhere new. Not the same place. It's going to somewhere new, somewhere new, somewhere new, somewhere new. Now this is how time works. Time is a cycle. It's going round and round and round and round like this. So we can sort of predict it. We know it's going to go round, but it's always ending up. Each moment is a brand new position. Each moment is a brand new position. It's spontaneous creation. We don't know exactly what is going to happen. And of course, ultimately this becomes a spiral, but it's a spiral going, a circle rather, but it's not really a circle, it's a spiral going round and round and round and round, always different. See, a circle will be repeating. A spiral is changing. It's always either expanding or contracting. It's like this. If you remember this shell, this is a Fibonacci spiral, and this is how growth happens. You see, it's a circle going round and round, but it's always expanding or contracting. It's always changing. And it's the same here. So this is how time works. Time is cyclical, but it is actually a spiral. It operates in the same way as the formation of the universe. This is the formation of the universe. Space and time is created like this. It's created like this. So we can say there is destiny because there's a cycle goes round and round. And this cycle, you can just call it the 4 seasons. I mean, every farmer, all of us know that. We've got spring, haven't we? We've got spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And we know every year it's going to be spring, it's going to be summer, it's going to be autumn, it's going to be winter. The farmer knows that, we all know that. But what we don't know, is it going to be a good spring? Is it going to be a good summer? Is it going to be too hot, too dry? When is the first rain going to come? These minor details you can never know. So this is what I said in the last lecture as well. I said no psychic can even predict the future. Because only a psychic can only tune into this cycle and get a feeling, oh, I think spring is coming soon. So they might get that sense for you. They might say, oh, I sense some good energies coming to you. You're moving into a spring-like season. But they can't tell you next week you're going to get married or they cannot give you specific things. And a good psychic, a genuine, honourable psychic should say something like this. If you were to ask the psychic and say, am I going to get married in my life? The psychic can tune into you, feel your energy, and they can get a feeling. And all they can say is, at the moment, I get the feeling that your energy is looking like, yes, you will get married. But it feels like you will get married, but I do not really know if you will get married. So all you can say is right now, at this moment, it feels like yes. But what happens tomorrow, I don't know. If you come back to me tomorrow, that feeling might be different. I might have to say no tomorrow. So psychics, again, psychics need a certain level of wisdom. And most of us don't have quite enough wisdom. So they're tuning into the spirit, but they don't fully understand what it is. So they get the message, yes, they will get married. So they say, yes, you will get married. But what's happening there is you have given them a statement. You have told them something that will happen. And that person is accepting what you say. So you have created a destiny for them. Now they think, oh, the psychic told me I will get married. Right now, I'm going to get married. So they're already moving towards that. Now, had they not seen the psychic or asked that question, they might not have been steered in that direction. So you're sort of creating a destiny, you see, but you've got to be very, very responsible if you're a psychic. I'll tell you a story. There were 3 sisters and they went to see a psychic, and the psychic told them each when they're going to pass away. Oh, you're going to pass away on this date. And the next sister, you're going to pass away on this date. And the third one, this date. And of course, these sisters went off, and as they grew up, they had that in their mind. Of course, it happened. So the first sister died on the date that the psychic said. And the second sister, again, now she's getting very worried, and it happens to her too. She passes away exactly on the day that the psychic said. And the third sister, later on, she was so afraid, so worried, she went to hospital. And she went to hospital and said, listen, I've been told I'm going to pass away on this day. Please, please keep your eye on me. But she still passed away in hospital. So I would say that psychic essentially did some great damage to those three ladies. Very great damage. Even if you see a date in your mind to someone, if you're a psychic and you see your date of passing away, you don't tell them. You do not tell them that, because you've got to know this is only it's only part of the dream. What you see is only part of the dream. You have to interpret that, but you have to interpret that with wisdom. And all this training is about gaining wisdom. There is pure free will. Let's have a look at it again. Pure free will. Because the ether, the chi, the spirit, let's now call it spirit. Let's call it spirit. This is pure infinity. This is outside space and time. This is pure potentiality. All things are possible here. So if you want to say it like this, all futures exist here. Okay, it's not because they're in a dream. So all potential futures exist here. And the same in the past. The past is only memories. Each one of our separate memories is subjective. So here the past is all of our subjective memories mixed together. All potential pasts are here. But they don't exist. This is in the dream. This is outside space and time. When you come into space and time, so the spirit creates. So when the spirit creates, it creates a vibration. It creates a vibration. This is a disturbance. And this disturbance creates the electromagnetic field. And again, look at previous lectures for this. And this will create the neutron, a fundamental particle. So this is spontaneous. This frequency changes. We don't know what this changing frequency is going to be. This initial spontaneous movement of a frequency is just spontaneous. This moment of creation, we cannot predict it, because we can't look into spirit and see what is coming. Because the moment you look into spirit, you've gone outside space and time. To see what is coming, you have to come back into space and time. So you can't look out if you're in. This has to be spontaneous. This creation of energy is spontaneous. And this creation of matter, well, this happens at a particular frequency. There is one particular frequency. If it's reached, then you can create a standing wave. It's like this wave loops back on itself. It's gone so fast it creates a circle. And this becomes the particle. So we can know that the particle will appear at this frequency, but we still don't know. Sometimes it can come straight out, pretty much. Like in a black hole. If you look at previous lectures, I talk about black holes. A black hole is a point of inertia, a point where spirit is bursting out, and out of a black hole comes neutrons. They're called galactic jets. You can look into this. So things are sucked into a black hole, but things are coming out. Neutrons are coming out. Very high energy is coming out. So these are spontaneous creation of neutrons. But even that, you wouldn't know. You can't say, oh, I'm waiting for the next neutron. Is it coming? The next neutron is coming now. You can't say that. It is purely spontaneous. Creation is spontaneous. The underlying structure of the universe is free will. Free will. The universe is based on free will. So where does destiny come in? Where does destiny come in? Well, now, this thing ultimately moves down to the DNA. So I've done this before. The layers of complexity build up until you get to DNA. And then DNA goes to more and more life forms until we've got a body. So here's our human body. Now, the human body is controlled by spirit, but it also needs matter. It needs these layers of complexity to build a body, but the body is organized by spirit. And what happens is you see spirit gradually builds up to get to here. But at this point, once you've got this particular body, and it's got to be a humanoid body, it is the humanoid structure. Remember, other animals are in here. All right, there's some sort of animal. This is a different body structure, and this will have a different type of spirit, not quite the same. At this level, we have a singularity of consciousness that comes together with this body. So this is a singularity of spirit. But at this one we have self-awareness. This is self-aware. So this is a particular level of spirit, a singularity of spirit. Here we have a smaller level, so they're not quite self-aware. Again, look at the previous lectures about this. But this is important. This becomes a soul, or we can say a human soul, let's say it like that. But for now we're calling this a soul, which is a singularity of spirit. So this soul is made of spirit, but it is separate. It is separate from the pure infinite spirit. It's separate now. But it is still spirit. It's a singularity of spirit. And this singularity of spirit still operates like spirit. So the question is now, does the soul have free will? Or is the soul governed by destiny? Destiny. Well, the soul is spirit. Spirit is free will. So yes, we do have free will. This soul can spontaneously create. I can have a spontaneous thought and do something. And I have a moment before and I have no idea what it is I'm going to do, what it is I'm going to say. This whole lecture is spontaneous. I've got a basic plan. I know what I'm going to talk about. But it is purely spontaneous what I'm saying. So this lecture is a demonstration of free will. I am demonstrating this to you now. Now, but how does destiny work? How does destiny work? Okay, so this is an interesting thing because I hinted at that. The psychic essentially creates a destiny for you. If you go and see a psychic, ask them a question, am I going to be rich? Or when will I pass away? And the psychic tells you, you will be rich by next year, or you will pass away in 10 years' time. They have created a destiny for you because you had an open mind and you allowed that information to come in. That information went into your subconscious, and now your soul is following your subconscious. It's no longer following the pure spirit. So you've created a sort of destiny. So let me explain that in greater detail because this is very, very important. This is the problem that we've got in the world today. You see, we've lost our connection with spirit. We've lost our connection with pure spontaneity, pure creation. We've lost our connection with nature. Nature is spontaneous. It is spontaneous. Nature follows a process. Like the farmer knows, the process is followed. And the farmer is very wise. See, a farmer might not be intelligent, but remember there's a difference between intelligence and wisdom. We are searching for wisdom. Wisdom is what we want. It doesn't matter so much about intelligence. You can have very intelligent people that are very evil, very bad people. And an evil person has got no wisdom. So you can be intelligent and have no wisdom, but it's much better to be wise than it is to be intelligent. It's good to be both, of course, but you've got to have wisdom if you've got intelligence. So nature follows a process which we can watch and we can study. And this is how we can learn and make some guess about the future, but you will never know exactly. And a farmer knows that. The farmer will follow the processes, but he or she will observe. They study, and they get a feeling about how it's going to turn out. But they know it's just a feeling, and they are always surprised. And they know that. Ask any farmer. No 2 years are ever the same. No two crops are ever the same. No two animals are ever the same. It's always a bit different. That's the beauty of life. That's what it is. It's going round and round, but never in the same way. It's infinite. It's never started. Time has never started, and it will never end. Because it has no beginning. We can't put a point on the beginning. Again, going to time, time is moving around a point. This is like the neutron. This is like the soul. We have a point of inertia and things are happening around it. This is like a clock. Here's the clock. The hands go round, but you see the time is only experienced outside the edge of the clock. The closer you come down towards the middle, this thing's not moving. Infinitesimal point here is not moving. There is no time here. Time is up here. So the soul in its point of inertia, in infinite spirit, in the ether, is outside time, in the middle of the clock. And when the soul comes down onto planet Earth, which is planet Earth, is in the physical universe, now it's got time. So time expands outwards from the center. It doesn't have a beginning. We can't say it started here. You can't say it started here. You can't, because it's always changing. So you can't create a stationary point here. You cannot. The only stationary point is here. It's difficult to wrap your head around it, but you've got to think about this. This is a totally different way of looking at the universe. Totally different. And the reason we can't understand this stuff is because we have been given another lot of stuff. We've all been given ideas about how the universe works. We were born into it. What we learnt at school, what we've been told by our parents, all this stuff has given us an idea of how things work. This is another idea. We have to start again. This is another idea. But you see, the soul, let's see again. You see, the soul creates a body. So here we've got a pregnant lady. Okay, here's a pregnant lady. And inside here's the baby. There's the baby. Now, when the baby is born, here's a little baby. Okay. Oops. There's a little baby. Now, we know at this point here, created in the womb, okay, the mother and the father both provide some genetic material, but they also provide a spark of energy. Okay, the mother and father making love, they provide a spark of energy, plus they also get the genetic material, two DNAs to come together to make a life. And a third thing happens, a bit of spirit is also coming now. But you see two souls, two souls here, provide some energy, and pure spirit provide some information. We get a spark of energy, we get a bit of life going. Then the baby is born, but at the baby is born, it's still very fresh. We know that. It doesn't know anything, it can't speak. At this point, it's still pure spirit. It's still spirit coming down. The soul has not fully formed yet. Here's the soul, but it's gradually forming. It's gradually forming, slowly coming down. And at the same time, it's being taught. Information is coming from the real world now. And this soul is learning. Its soul is learning. As the child grows up, right, here we go, a little baby, or a young child, happy young child. The soul is forming more. It's getting more formed now. So now this body is growing. This body is getting more detailed. It's coming together. It's getting into balance. It's learning about the real world, and more spirit is coming down. More spirit is coming down. So this soul is getting, it's stronger. It's getting bigger. It is getting more self-contained. See, this baby soul is still supported by the mother and father. They're still feeding the soul. This soul, this spirit energy, this singularity is forming. This baby does not have any ego. It doesn't have a full personality yet. It is spirit in formation. Now we're getting an ego coming. The terrible twos, the toddler, they say no, no, no. They're starting to develop an independent ego. So now we know the soul is coalescing more. More spirit is coming to create the soul. And then we have teenage years. So we got approaching adulthood. At teenage years, now we're getting something interesting. At this point now we're moving towards an adult, a fully formed soul. So this is a major crossover. And that's why in the traditional ancient ways you'd have a coming of age ceremony. You see, in the wild people, when you reach puberty, you become a man or become a woman, you will have a ceremony. You have to go through a challenge. And this is to stimulate. This is to stimulate the power of your soul. Now you've got to realize, okay, you're grown up now. You're living on this world. This world is difficult. You need a strength in this world. They stimulate that strength. And we don't have that anymore. Modern society, we've lost this. Modern society, we do not have this coming of age ceremony. So what we've got now is a lot of children. We're all grown up old people, but we're all still children. Our soul is never fully formed. If you had this coming of age, you've gone through a challenge. You spend a night out in the wild. There's somewhere you get covered in ants. So these ants will bites you, you have a terrible pain and suffering, you have a difficult challenge that you could literally lose your life doing this challenge. It's a real challenge. And when you come back, from that point on, the tribe recognizes you as an adult. Okay, now you're a man or now you're a woman. Because you would have genuinely gone through a challenge that has strengthened your soul. You've had to be independent. You've got to survive by yourself. You've got to. This is the secret of life. This is the secret of immortality. This is soul power. Soul power. We need that. That's what this whole training is about. But what I'm telling you here, you can see how spirit gradually is forming a soul. The soul is not fully formed yet. It's getting more formed now. At this point, it should be formed. Now, at this point, you can become, as you get older, you can become wise. So here's a guy, old, wise guy. I've done him, he has a beard. He's got a beard. So he could be a wise man. Let's give him a wizard's hat. He's got a wizard's hat. And the wizard's hat, incidentally, is a spiral. It's a vortex of energy coming down. They also put that on the dunce. Remember the dunce cap. So if you're supposedly an idiot, they put one of these things on you. But the real reason is to increase your wisdom. Put this hat on so some energy will spiral down and you get smarter. And that's why the wizards have it, because they want to get this energy from the cosmos to increase their wisdom. So you can increase the power of your soul more and more and more. That's what we did in the last lecture, increasing the progressing the soul. So at the time you're in the body, you understand the body now, and you understand that you are a singularity of spirit. You understand that you are a creator. We are creators. We are creators. Okay, people are saying that. You know, religions say that. Yeah, you are God. God is the creator, but you are God. God is everywhere. God is in you. Therefore, you are the force. You are the creator. Spirit is the creator. It creates. We are a singularity of spirit, but we operate in the same way. At this level, you understand that. Now you are creating. You are using this power to create things in the real world. You can create technology. We'll come to that. You can create things, but you can create yourself a stronger soul. You use that ability to create to increase your wisdom. So this is a very wise thing to do. So this is the progression of the soul, and this soul can eventually, if it gets strong enough, gets powerful enough, and again, I'm going to talk more and more about this, it can outlive the physical body. So here, if you passed away, but you're in your personality, this ego, this is still an ego now, this is an individual personality. Essentially, they're not dead, they're still alive, but they're outside the body. They can travel in the physical universe, but not being part of it. There will be a slight physical influence, but not enough. Okay, and again, we talked about that last lecture, and I will be talking about this a lot more in time. But here, what I'm talking about is destiny. See, once you understand soul power, you understand that you have a chance to create your own destiny. And that's what a wise person does. So if you are a creator, you can choose your destiny. Choose. You can choose your destiny and create what you want. So rather than going to a psychic and saying, am I going to be rich? You choose to be rich. Okay, I want to be rich. Now, how do you do that? Well, this is what is called manifestation. And manifestation theory is getting very popular now, and I think what we got really is what I would call manifestation madness, because nobody really understands how manifestation is going to work. And that's what I'm going to explain to you now. But you see, you've got to go back to the picture of the mind. See, here's the body, and here's the soul, the seat of the soul, the mind. And the mind splits into the subconscious and the conscious. So the subconscious is down here, and the conscious is here. So this is the singularity of spirit. And the singularity of spirit has got a connection to spirit there, and it's got a connection to the material world. Here's the earth. It's got a connection to the material world here. There's two other energy centers. But this is the important part, the conscious and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is essentially creating. The subconscious mind is essentially recording. So this is memory. Subconscious mind is memory, but this is also programming. This is a program. So this is destiny. Destiny is in your subconscious mind. It's an inbuilt program. So when those psychics told those people, you're going to pass away on this date, that went into the subconscious mind, into their programming. Essentially, the conscious mind was switched off, or it was not enough. There was not enough connection to spirit. You see, they did not have a connection to spirit. What we want to have is a connection to spirit. Here's the psychic. Okay, let's say here's the psychic. Here's the crystal ball. Here's the crystal ball, and here's the psychic looking at the crystal ball. Okay, here's the psychic. Okay. So they're looking at the crystal ball. The psychic tells them they're going to pass away. This person here, you see, they're not listening to their conscious mind. The subconscious is active. They're not connecting to spirit, so they're listening. They're listening to this person. So the information that is coming to them comes from this person, and it goes into the subconscious mind, goes into the program. They allow it in and they believe it. See, belief is a very, very important thing. Belief is, let's write it down here, belief needs to be fluid. In other words, you need to be able to change what you believe easily. Now, don't get me wrong. You need to understand the nature of the universe. That's what you've got to believe in. But you see, you can never fully understand the pure spirit. All you've got to believe is that there is a pure infinite spirit, and it's worth trying to find it. And then you keep trying to touch this pure infinite spirit. And if you do that, your belief is always moving towards this infinite understanding, this wisdom. This is wisdom. The only real belief you need to hold on to is that there is some wisdom, and this wisdom is worth pursuing. But what that wisdom is, you can never really know, or you can always keep increasing. You see, an unwise person thinks they know it all. I know everything now. Now, that when someone says, I know this, I know everything, well, you're talking to an ignorant person. A wise person knows, well, yeah, I know a certain amount. But the wiser you get, the more you realize, the less you know. You you get what I'm trying to say. A wise person realizes you can never know it all. Now, so this person is listening to that one, and this person put the programming in here. So now this has created a destiny. But it's really a self-fulfilling prophecy. So now the soul is, through belief, the conscious mind is, well, it's really the subconscious mind, but the mind has gone in here. In a dream, this is sort of circulating round and around. And now it's following this pattern. So now you are being led into a destiny. You see, you have forgotten that there is free will. There's free will is up here. Free will is up here. When you connect to spirit, you're connecting to pure potentiality. Anything is possible for you. Remember, every day is like a blank page in a book. It's completely blank. I could do anything today that I want. Because I'm trapped on yesterday, I think I've got to do something today based on yesterday. You don't. Any day, any moment is a free moment. You could do something completely unpredictable. You could. I mean, within reason, you've got to follow the laws of mathematics. In other words, I've got to follow the laws of my physical body. But within the laws of my physical body and the mathematics of the golden ratio, phi, the golden ratio, anything is possible. And we need to remember that, because that is free will. Otherwise, we're stuck in the destiny. We're stuck in this self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, the trouble is, we have been taught a lot of things. It's not just this psychic telling you something. Here we have the whole of society. All the books you read, all the knowledge you've been given, right? All the schools you've gone to. You've got your hat. What do you call these university hats? Your diplomas. What you've learnt from your peers, your friends, We've been programmed. All the things we've learned about society are programs. And the trouble is, you've got to ask the question, once you understand that, everything that you believe, everything that you've been made, your personality is sort of locked away, is in your subconscious, it's a program given to you. When you were a baby, there was nothing, pure spirit. Where did this come from? It comes from your subconscious mind is your, it is your personality. It is also your personality. You see, and your personality gets fixed. It gets fixed, and it gets fixed based on the things you have learnt. And throughout our life, we learn things from the world. We learn things from the external world. And we do still get a bit from spirits. We do get some inspirations. But what happens, this one is shut off. This one is shut off. And we get all the information from the external world. So we are programmed. And the trouble is, the society we live in is governed by very powerful, very super rich, and when I say rich, I mean infinitely rich. Money is nothing to them. They create the money. A group of elites. Everyone knows this by now. All you've got to do is follow the money. Everything is a corporation, and all corporations lead to a certain group of families. And these families go back through history. People have mapped this all. So society has been guided. It's been guided by people who have the money. And they want the money, they want this because they want people to look after them. They want to enjoy their life with ease. Okay? And this goes back to what I was talking about in the last lecture. To enjoy their life with ease, they want a lot of servants. They need everyone to do what they want them to do so that they can have everything. And this is a very bad people. This is the dark force. This is the dark side of the force. The light side of the force is receiving the wisdom from pure spirit, from in here. And it overrides these. These ones we block out. These ones we resist. And we start to receive it from here. Now we do also receive it from matter, but we receive it from pure matter. We receive our information from pure matter. This is pure matter, a crystal. There's no individual personality here. There is wisdom here. There is recorded information in here. There is something in here. This is pure matter. So we are not paying so much attention to all this external programming. Now, you could argue that I'm lecturing you now, I'm telling you something, I'm giving you some programming, but I'm not really giving you programming. I'm not giving you programming. I am trying to unlock this programming. I'm trying to break the previous programming. What I'm trying to do is open this for you. So I'm trying to explain to you guys that you can connect to pure wisdom. You can connect to pure spirit yourself. You see, it's not even me explaining this to you. You see, Bruce Lee said it in his movie. Very, very well said. He said to his student, "It is like a finger pointing to the moon. Do not focus on the finger or you will miss all the heavenly glory." So what he's saying is, there's the moon, the heavenly glory. Here's me, I'm the finger pointing to it. Do not focus on me, the finger. You've got to focus on this. But these guys, these people teaching you society, they want you to focus on them. They are telling you, listen to me. We are the authorities. We are the authorities. And there's no such thing as an authority. No such thing as an authority. Not here on this earth. No. You've got to be careful. This is a lot of stuff made up by human beings, make this stuff up to control other human beings. So we have got a lot of programming put into us, and the main problem with this programming is we've been given a materialistic view of the universe. We've been given the idea of survival of the fittest, dog eat dog world. Everything is fighting, survival. You've got to be ruthless. You've got to beat down your fellow man to rise above. And we've been given the idea of money. We've got to get more and more money. You see, that's this manifestation madness. These so-called spiritual people are going on, I want more money, abundance, I'm going to be super rich, and they're getting so rich. But how are they getting rich? It's the poor, vulnerable people are giving them money. And that's not quite right. You're getting rich because poor people are giving you their money. Be careful now. It's different if rich people are giving you their money, but when you're taking money from a lot of poor people, there's something not right there. You see, abundance is not just money. Money is only one form of abundance, and we can use it. It's a useful tool, but money has been changed. It's been corrupted. We're living in a world of corruption. The financial system is essentially corrupt. Everything is corrupt. So we've got to be careful about that. But manifestation is really about creating opportunities, creating potential in your life, moving into a new network, trying something new out, opening possibilities. You can, if you are a business person, you can look into building a business, and you keep thinking ideas of business, how to make money. But you've got to, of course, think about practical business steps to do. You've got to do something. You can't just sit there, I will be rich, and then money just lands in your hand. And that's like buying a lottery. Buy a lottery ticket, I will be rich, I'll buy the lottery. You might be, and then if you buy the lottery and you manifest, I made it happen, I manifested it. Yeah, you sort of did, but that's a lottery. You can't call that manifestation. Manifestation is a plan. If you want to manifest something in your life, you've got to think like a farmer. You've got to grow it. You've got to plant a seed and nurture the seed, grow it, feed it with different things. But this going back to destiny. So our destiny has been given to us, and it's been given to us by a group of nefarious people who want to have a lot of servants. So our destiny is to be servants. That is the destiny that we've been given. And a lot of the troubles we've got in the world today, I would say 90% of the problems of the world today, including in ill health, depression, poverty, is all been created by this bad group of people over years. It's not natural. We should not have all these problems. So this is a destiny that we've been given, and we need to change that destiny. And the first way we've got to change our destiny is change our belief. You've got to believe. You've got to believe you do have free will. We are creators. We do have free will. Okay, these guys want to break this connection, and they want to give you the information directly to your subconscious mind so that you essentially you fulfill the destiny they give you. We don't want to fulfill the destiny they give us. We want to create our own destiny. So we choose that destiny. We think about it. We think about what is the life I want to live, and then we try and take steps towards that life. We can create our destiny. It's very easy. And you do it by programming yourself. You tell yourself what you want. Yeah, I want to have this life, and then you visualize that life, you imagine that life, you create the dream. You create the dream of that life. But remember, it's still just a dream. You're creating a dream. It's your subconscious mind. You create a dream. But you know it's a dream. You know that it's a dream. But you repeat that dream over and over and over and over till your subconscious mind really believes it's possible. And you see it. You wake up in the morning. Yeah, this life is possible. I could have this life that I want. At that point, it's becoming your destiny because you believe it. You believe it. And now you start to enact it. It will start to happen for you. And people talk about attraction. It will attract things to you. Well, sort of. It is not so much attraction. It's really creation. You are creating it. You are seeing, you're perceiving differently. These things were already there. You're not attracting them. They're all there. But you couldn't see them. Oh, look. It was right in front of my face all this time. How come I didn't see it before? Now I see it. And this is for all of us. We need to keep that going. We need to have the idea of creation. There is always some surprise happening. You see, although we create destiny, we create a dream, never forget, there is always free will. You see, if you get fixated on the dream, this is the trouble here. This is the manifestation madness. We manifest the life we want. We got this idea, I want £1 million. I want £1 million. And you get fixated on it. It's got to be 1 million. It's got to be 1 million. It's got to be 1 million. It's not the million. It's just having the abundance. You see, If you get fixated on the 1 million, here's the $1 million. Okay, 1 million. I want $1 million. So I create the destiny, I create the dream, and I'm fixed on that dream. Again, you have now limited your destiny. Your destiny is here. You've fixed it now. You've closed it at 1 million. But remember, there's always infinite possibilities coming down from inertia, from spirit. You still want to have this opening. You still want to have this opening, this channel. You go back to the previous lectures. This is how the energy goes in and comes out. We want to have this channel open, but open to spirit. We don't have this channel open to external influences, or you're very careful about the external influences around here. So instead of being fixated on this, you create a dream, but you understand this is only a temporary dream. It's only to get you moving, and you allow that dream to change. So the dream, your vision, this is your vision. This is your vision, your destiny, what you want to happen into your life. But even in your vision, you allow spontaneity. That vision can continually change. You don't know what it's going to be exactly. You just want to be moving always towards spirit, moving always towards wisdom. Now, wisdom trumps abundance. I would argue it's better to be a poor, lonely person with wisdom than it is to be a rich, a rich, sociable person with no wisdom, with ignorance. And wisdom is its own reward. It's a far greater reward than wealth. Of course, the ultimate is to have all health, wealth, and wisdom, happiness. But if you're seeking wisdom, it will allow your vision to grow, and it will allow your body to follow. It will allow your soul and your body. Here's your body. So again, you see, if you're trying to heal yourself, you go to the doctor tells you you're sick. They show you the x-ray, oh, look, you're sick. And that goes in your subconscious mind. I've been told I'm sick. You've accepted the word of an external authority, a doctor. Remember, there's no such thing as an authority. Nobody understands the universe. So you can't be an authority on it. I don't care if you're a doctor. He's a doctor, she's a doctor, done 12 years of medical school. Yeah, 12 years of programming by the institutions that are brought up by the families hundreds of years ago. So they look, you're sick, you've got this problem. That goes into your subconscious mind and that repeats over. I'm sick now. Oh, the doctor said I'm sick. You've created a self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, you listen to what they're saying, but you ignore it. You create your own one. No, I see myself as a fully functioning, healthy body. I create a new destiny. I create a new vision, a new dream. And I connect to wisdom. And I allow the wisdom to keep creating. And this will create me a new body. This is the secret of immortality. This is the secret of regenerating. You're regenerating. Each cell in your body is growing anew. Every little DNA is growing again. On that very fundamental level, you allow it to keep coming from spirit. So you want to have this process happening. And this is a process. And now this is how we can start predicting the future. So again, in my last lecture, I was saying that psychics can never predict the future, when they can't. You can't really look into the future because it is always spontaneous. But like I said, like a farmer can predict the seasons. So you can also predict the flow of energy. You see, the infinite ether comes down through energy, it creates matter, there's the neutron, and then it creates crystal. There's a crystal. You see? So there is a crystallization process happening. But the crystal can also melt. The crystal can become water, liquid. And the liquid can heat up again, go back, and that can also be broken up and returned back to spirit. So there is a process that happens in the universe. This is a cycle. You see, now this is how we can look at this. You could call this destiny, but the way this process is happening is always slightly different. But this process we can use to create a map. And you can break this process down, so you can think this is a process of crystallization and then the process of melting back and softening back and disappearing. And in the Tao, they call this the 5 elements. 5 elements. And the 5 elements, now different philosophies talk about the 5 elements in slightly different ways. You've got the ancient Greek 5 elements, and they're very important as well. The ancient Greek 5 elements are based on a pentagram. Now, again, people know this pentagram from magic, but it's really Pythagoras. This is a very, very important pentagram. And this is actually this triangle. It's this triangle here. It's a triangle. If you see this triangle there, it's repeated 3 times. There it is again there, and there it is again there. So this triangle repeated 3 times. But it's a particular angle. This triangle is 36 degrees, 36 degrees, and 108 degrees. It's the 108, 36, 36 triangle. And this in Pythagoras is called the perfect incommensurable geometry. There's something very special about this triangle. And just out of interest, this triangle is the water molecule. If you look at the water molecule, it fits into this triangle just in that geometry. So there's something very interesting about that, which we'll talk in more in time. But if you want to learn more about this guy, Ken Wheeler, talks about this a lot. I'll leave the links below. But for now, I'm just enough to explain to you, this is another 5 elements. They talk about the 5 elements around here. And it's to do with this incommensurable geometry, the formation of things in the universe. And that's very similar to the Tao. The Tao will have 5 elements going around in a circle, but they're different. They're named differently. And the Indian ones, again, have different ones. So the one I'm doing is my explanation of this. So it's still slightly different. Now, all these are slightly different, but the idea behind them is the same. It's just getting a bit more, this knowledge now, we can come at it from slightly different angles. So I'm trying to come at this from the simplest angle. It's this process of energy and matter moving between each other. So here's the ancient Greek triangle about the 5 elements. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail in that, but just so you understand, it was taken very seriously and there was a lot of mathematics to do with this. And it does connect to reality. There's the water molecule. But let's look at it in terms of what I'm saying. So you've got here pure spirit. Pure spirit. Let's call that infinity. And we can also call that fire. Fire. Okay, it's light, it's pure energy. It's infinite fire. And this fire slowly comes down, it starts to manifest. So it manifests and it starts to create, it creates matter. It starts to create these particles. Okay, starts to create these particles. And you can think of these particles as earth. Earth. And these particles coalesce, they get together and they organize themselves until they actually ultimately crystallize. So they become crystal. So these things coalesce together into a structure. And you can call this metal. Call this metal. It's become a solid object now. But this metal, this solid structure, can also soften. It becomes a liquid. So this can become a liquid. It can melt. You can also think of this as ice. You see, ice is starting to melt, and this becomes water. So we can call this water. But what's interestingly, out of water, the water can start to turn into steam. It can start to evaporate again, turn into steam. Okay, and this you can call, or this expansion now, this re-expansion of energy, we can call wood. And wood goes back up to energy again, back to fire. So now you can hear, this is my way of explaining the Taoist 5 elements. And this is the basis of how we can predict the future. This is the only destiny we can work out. So this is the process, this is simply the process that happens. This pure infinity, this pure spontaneous ether, we know that it creates. And it creates energy, and this energy becomes particles. And once the creation has happened, this creation slowly solidifies. But it also can melt and soften. It can dissolve again, expand and go back to energy. So we know there is a process that happens. And the process follows this order. And this order, we can write this in different ways. There's another way of saying it. And again, the Indians will have another way of saying it. But I'm saying like this because I can explain it simply in the formation of the universe. And in the Tao, they've taken this to the next level. So here we got 5. There's 5 things, 5 elements. But they will also take it to 8. They will also have the pakwa. They call this the pakwa, the octagon. It's the octagon, the pakwa. So this is a very important symbol in the Tao. And again, there will be some serious geometry about this, the pakwa. But this is essentially subdividing these 5 things in a bit more detail. A bit more detail. So, and this, they have different mathematics for it. You will have, oh, I can't remember which way around it goes. I think it goes, that's heaven. Yeah, that's right. Heaven, and that's earth. They have these solid lines and broken lines, and then it will have different ones either side. Again, I can't remember exactly which way around this goes, but it will be something like this. I might have got that wrong, but you can look into that. The point being is this is a very important symbol, and they've got a very clever mathematics that goes with this, and it's based on this idea of the 5 elements. And these are called trigrams. And then there's a very important book. It's called the I Ching. The I Ching. Oh goodness, the pen's gone. The I Ching. Let's try the other one again. So and so this is oh, they're both gone. All right. This is the best one. So next lecture, I've got to get some new pens. I hope you can still see this well enough. Now, so the I Ching is a book about these hexagrams, these trigrams rather, and they put 2 together, and there's 64. The I Ching becomes 64 of these trigrams put together. So that's heaven and earth. They're put together like this. And this is very interesting because this connects to the DNA. In the DNA, there are 64, I can't remember what they are, strands of protein or something. There's 64 combinations in the DNA. And there's a lot of work, research been done connecting it to the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching. So this ancient book is really a science. It connects the DNA itself. So these guys, whoever wrote this book, know a lot. So they worked out a lot of stuff. And it's also a book of divination. This is a book of the processes, you see. So you can use this book to predict the future. But you're not really predicting the future. You are having a guess. All you can really do is work out where you are. You can look at this pattern and say, analyze where I am now. Oh, well, I feel like I'm in a sort of earth energy. This sort of thing is happening to me. So chances are this might be coming next. But it might not, you see, it might not. So they use this as divination, and the way they do it is they take a load of sticks in a thing, and they shake the sticks, and one stick falls out. And then they look at the stick, and on that stick will be the trigram, one of these patterns, and then they look at the book, and it will give you a bit of text about this. It will give you a paragraph of text, but it's very ambiguous text. It's very cryptic, it's very poetic, it's very universal. In other words, you have to interpret that text. It is not literal. It's not literal. Okay, it's not like a fortune cookie. You will be rung by someone on a telephone today. It's not going to be that. It requires interpretation. So again, this I Ching book was designed to be used by a master. A master needs to understand this. But it's more than that. You need to understand these processes, but you also need to be tuned in. You need to have wisdom. You need to connect to the wisdom. You still need that. So when you look at the and again, the reason you shake the sticks is for spontaneity. You do not know which stick is coming out. You are trying to touch the wisdom. You're asking the great mystery. I don't know. I don't know. Tell me something. Tell me something. Tell me something. What is the one? It's that one. And then you go to the book and read it. And this goes to astrology. So astrology is again the same business, but you look at a farmer. Like I said, the farmer looks at the year. They know spring is coming, summer's coming. So they can predict that by looking at the sun. Oh, spring is nearly here. But again, they'll never know exactly, is it going to be a good spring? So to know, is it a good spring, they look at the stars and look a bit further. Maybe the stars will indicate a larger pattern. Because this pattern, this cycle of time happens, it's going round and round. It's not really a cycle, it's a spiral. But this spiral of time, of destiny, is happening in big ways, bigger ways. Oh, the pen's gone. And smaller ways. You know, the cycle is happening in infinite different cycles are going on. And you've got to try and predict all these different cycles, which one, what is actually going to happen to you. So you can still, it's so complex, you'll never be able to work it out. And even if you could work it out, you couldn't work it out because you've got free will. It's ultimately still spontaneous. But this is what you're looking at. You're looking at the cycle of the year, then you look at the cycle of the stars. You look at bigger things. And here you are looking at the cycle of the energy itself. This is the cycle of the Chi. This is the cycle of the Chi, or the cycle of the Aether. This is now science. But this hexagrams of the I Ching, again, I don't know. I don't think anyone has done it yet, but there will be technology that you can build with this. There will be some technology with this mathematics you can build. So there may be already, I don't know, but this is my theory. This will have technology, real world technology, but we don't know it yet. We don't know it yet. But this is how you can start to predict the future. You have a guess, but it's only a guess. And a true master will tell you that. If you go into a real psychic, they have to tell you this is a guess. And a real psychic should not tell you anything. They should just say, I am sensing this and this in your energy at the moment. And I suggest you try to do some of these things to balance your energy out. See, a psychic should be a healer. A healer is trying to help the person achieve balance. And a psychic should be trying to help you achieve balance by telling you something. They're healing you with information. When a psychic tells you the exact thing, they're programming you with a destiny, and that's no good. Don't program me with a destiny. You can have a look at me. Sometimes it's helpful because it's hard to look at the back of your own head. We've all got blind spots. So you go to someone else to help you learn about yourself. That's okay. But you've got to understand it's only ever a guess. Okay, there is free will. You're only ever seeking wisdom, and we've got to find our own wisdom. But this is the best guess for destiny. And of course there are other books, all different types of books, but the I Ching is very important. And of course the other one is the Tao De Ching. The Tao De Ching, very important book in the Tao, written by Lao Tzu. And again, it's very poetic, cryptic paragraphs. And you have to interpret it, you have to think about it. It's a book that is meant to lead you towards wisdom. So it's not a book that tells you anything, it's the book that leads you to question. You've got a question. And you've got to question yourself, go inward, ask yourself a question. Who am I? What am I? What on earth is going on? When you ask these questions inwards, you're going towards the wisdom and you'll get the answers. And these answers that will progress your soul. They will strengthen your soul. Okay, this is what we want. We want to get more soul power. Soul power, strengthen and strengthen. This is our aura as well. This is our aura. And that's why this connects to the body. The body connects to the balance of the energy. But let's just say one last thing. How this connects to the body, how this connects to healing, is we want to create our destiny. So you've got the idea now. We have got free will. We are creators. And we can choose the destiny we want. So we must choose our own. Don't take the destiny that people have given you. The people out there want you to be a servant. And worse than a servant, but I don't want to say it. So they have given you that destiny, and they've given you the knowledge that they want you to have. They want to tell you about money, about the way the world works, to make your mind work in a certain way so that they can give you the destiny they want. Remember, the best servant is a willing servant. There's a saying, the best servant is a willing servant. So we are all willing servants. We're programmed, we're automatons doing what our masters want. It's as simple as that. It sounds very simple, too childish. This world is so complex, so many big corporations. It's still ultimately childish. We're living in a very primitive society. These are childish idiots with infinite power and infinite wealth. And they're governed by base emotions. They're not governed by wisdom. They're not governed by wisdom. So we do not want their programming. We have to connect to spirit, get our own programming, decide our own future, and we can build our own body. You see, here is the pure infinite spirit. Now we've got a soul. Here's our soul, our singularity of spirit. But from our soul, what we have also got here we have got an energy body. Now this is moving towards the subconscious mind. Here's the conscious mind coming down in the subconscious mind, and here below, I'm going to do it as a skeleton. Let's do it as a skeleton. So we've got a skeleton. Okay, here's a skeleton, and this is our physical body. So this is energy. This is energy. So our pure spirit creates a spontaneous singularity. Now we are spontaneous. We are creators. We are creators. So we create, we visualize a perfect energy body. So my body is made of energy, chi. I visualize this. This is my destiny. In here is the programs, the information that will govern my life. If you close your eyes now and imagine yourself, just try and see yourself, see how you perceive yourself. You see, if you're a sick person, chances are when you close your eyes, you're going to still feel that sickness. You're still going to feel a bit down. It's just an experiment. You've got to understand that perception of yourself is under your control. You have been given a perception of yourself. It's not yours. You have to gain your own perception, and you can choose that perception. So when you close your eyes, you see yourself as a perfect energy body. Your physical body here is perfect, but it's made of energy. That can be so. I am creating this perfect energy body. My soul decides on it, and I create this shape, this perfect energy shape. Now, my physical body might not be. It's already created. But this energy body is going to now teach. It's going to teach the physical body what to do. Now the DNA in my body knows what to do. I am telling the DNA what to do next. And that DNA will divide, grow new cells, grow me a new body, a healthy body. I have to choose this, and I have to continually do this. Continually do this. Whenever you train your body, you're trying to find perfect balance. This is why the alignment is important. When you can find that balance, your magnetic field aligns, you can feel your energy body. And you must get it in perfect balance. And then you visualize your energy perfect. I visualize the body I want. Even visualize the physical body in its perfect shape. Yeah, if I like muscles, I want muscles. But my spine is aligned perfectly. I want perfect alignment. I want alignment. Alignment is the key. Alignment. This is the key. We can all do that. It's not physical strength, mobility, fitness. It's alignment. I don't want to, if I'm fit but doing it like this, no good. If I'm unfit but I can sit like this, this is better. I've got to get the spine right. So alignment, I visualize the energy body. This will program the DNA, and this will regrow a new, healthier body. This is the secret to immortality. This is the secret to creating your own destiny. Okay, and there is more to it. You see, I'm visualizing an energy body, but I can also visualize my environment. I also have the power to change my environment. Here's a house. You see, I create a house. And again, we've got the same problem. We've been told the environment we can live in. I have the ability to create my own environment. Same thing, I visualize it. Here's the dream. I visualize the dream. But I know it's a dream. I know it's a dream. It's a dream as a vehicle to help me create it. I still have to do it. I still have to get my physical body down here. My physical body has to do it. Here's the physical body, has to do it. But this is how we change our environment. But the first thing we do is the body. That's why I call this body efficiency training. It must be the body first, then you can do your house. And it's simple, you just tidy up your house, you already started. Now, even I got to do this. It's not easy, you see. Not easy, but we can. We are creators, we can do this. And this is feng shui. I'm going to talk more about this in time. And this is technology. This is how we, as a soul, through our body, can influence the outside world. This is technology, this is feng shui, this is creating a life we want. So this would be another lecture. But we still got a few more to do on the body structure. So I've still got to talk about the essence of life, the fluids of life, and this is very, very important. But this lecture, to sum it up, this is about free will and destiny. And yes, we do have free will. Free will because it's infinite and it's spontaneous. Destiny comes in later. Destiny comes in here. And we can be the creator of our destiny, or if we allow ourselves to be separated from this, then someone else, some other being here, and usually it's a nefarious being. It's the devil. Yeah, the devil guy. Okay, the pen's really gone. They will create your destiny. This is hypnosis. This is programming. This is education. This is society. And when you really understand this, you will see what sort of a society we're living in. But I'm going to talk a lot more about that. You need to understand the deceptions that have been played upon us. And they've been played on us but for this very simple reason. Some very greedy people like to have power and they want to have servants. And they see us as cattle. We are just cannon fodder. That we are the herd. And they don't mind culling the herd. You know, they are the farmers. We are the animals on the farm. But it's very naughty. It's very naughty. Because we are both self-aware. This is where self-aware beings must have respect. We must respect each other. It's very important. And I'm going to talk a lot more about that. This is all about good and evil. But for now, we are the creators of our own destiny. We can choose what we want to do. And the first step is to create our body and create our emotional state. And again, I'm working on exercises about that too. Okay, do check out the previous lectures because they all lead up to this, and leave any questions or comments below. I will get back to you. I'm trying to cover a very big, deep subject, thousands of years of philosophy, and I'm trying to sum it up in a very simple way in these 12 lectures. This series, I think, is going to be 12 lectures. So this is lecture number 7, a few more to go. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.